telling you, this girl here wishes she
You
was.
looking for a new bale, buddy? Eh? Are you looking for a new bale? I'd be pretty shocked if that's not twin lambs. Or more. We're going to be having baby lambs, aren't we?
And Casanova is desperately wanting attention. Hi. See that? The ears come down.
Another thing the Americans do with the sheep,
What?
they kept his good temperament.
Hey, we got a lot of fat bottom girls around here. Morning. I'm Lynn, and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. We're going to start off with the video from last night that Arnie did when he came to do night checks. And we're going to continue on this morning in the lambing barn. As he mentioned last night, everyone's looking pretty rotund. A lot of them are picking spots. They tend to have a favorite spot. And they tend to spread themselves out a little bit more. So these guys are in a cluster. So I would assume none of them are close. But when they start spreading apart, and there's one right in the very back there, those are the ones that become suspicious. Because right now, we are imminent for lambs. They are due in 2 days, but it's common that you can have lambs come 2 days early. So the lamb watch is officially ongoing right now. As I look through this barn, I can see that they're all close. They're chewing their cuds. They're looking relaxed. Nobody's straining. Nobody has discharge. So we're going to assume that all is good today. When you're doing your lambing checks, you want to be checking probably every 4 to 6 hours for sure, looking for those subtle signs that somebody could be coming in. We like to be here for as many of the lambs being born as possible, so that means watching for those subtle signs very carefully. Sheep eating is a sure sign nobody's going to come in for at least 4 hours. It's rare we would have a sheep that was eating and then went to the side of the wall and had a lamb. Because any of you who've had babies, the last thing you feel like doing when you're going into labor is eating. Now we do have 2 ewes over here, separate from the group, that are not eating. However, both of them are chewing their cuds, which is a form of eating too. So both of these barns, although lambing is imminent in these barns, nobody is in labor. But I'm telling you, this girl here wishes she was. That's a big belly. That's the one that's carrying the glad children.
So I think we're due for lambs on the 15th. And today is the 11th. So tomorrow will be the due date. Or tomorrow will be 3 days early from the due date, which is possible for sheep to have lambs. And you can see that the sheep are different now. Because if you look carefully, all the sheep are actually picking their spots. See how they get along the walls? And it's a sure sign. It's a sure sign that we're going to have some babies here shortly. I'm in here tonight because I got to feed them a little bit of hay. It's 8:30 at night. What are you, young girl, hey? Hey? What are you doing? But you can see the difference with the sheep right now is the sheep are picking their spots. So if you were in here a few weeks ago, they were just laying wherever they wanted to. and along the walls they're grouped up and everything. But now you'll find that the sheep, they all want their little spot. I mean, they're not real crowded in here, but every sheep wants about a 4-foot spot. And when you watch them lay now, a few days from having lambs, they're looking for that little private spot, eh? But I gotta feed a bale of hay. The Suffolks are a little different, but hey, buddy, what are you looking at? But yeah, you see the Suffolks. See, they're all getting their little spots ready. They want a private spot to have their lambs. Actually, it's I think it's 11th of December, and Glad here was actually servicing sheep yesterday. So I mean, I don't know what took her so long to cycle. I mean, there's a possibility that there's a possibility this ewe could have been pregnant and absorbed the lamb, and now is going to get re-pregnant, or it's pretty hard to believe she would go 4 or 5 months without getting pregnant. But yeah, Glad was actually breeding somebody yesterday. So I marked her down. We'll see how that turns out. Why that happened so late? Hey, buddy. These guys stay out here all night. It's actually a pretty private spot. And the temperatures really dropped down tonight badly, so it's going to freeze tonight. So I'm going to feed these few bales. Because this guy here, I'm thinking, are you looking for a new bale, buddy? Yeah? Are you looking for a new bale? That's the ram we purchased this year. He's became quite the little pet. Now he's actually a little bit of an irritant. But anyways, yeah, it's funny. We're going to have lambs, and the ram is still in with the ewes yet. But we're going to pull the ram out here in a few days. Yeah, we do that quite often. The rams don't bother the ewes any. So I'm going to feed these few bales of hay, a couple bales of hay. These guys are looking for some new hay. But you can see, I don't know if the camera really picks it up, but like these lambs, sheep are definitely carrying lambs. They're quite large. We just went through 2 real warm days, so it was a little sticky in the barn. But tonight the windows are still open and it's quite cool in here. Now the next couple of days, when I feel there's going to be a real risk for lambs, I'm probably going to shut that door behind the skid steer, and I'll probably slide those windows in the back of the barn shut, just because if I do the 2 o'clock in the morning check and we do have lambs, I don't want the barn to be ice cold. Well, not ice cold, but really cold, in case I'm not here immediately. So you can see the size of that ewe. I don't know if the camera really picks it up. Yeah, but they're really showing lambs. See that one there, right there on the wall? See that? I'd be pretty shocked if that's not twin lambs. Or more. Hopefully just twins. Lynn's not really in love with the triplets. But if you look at the ewes, they're going to move now. See, they all have their little spots picked out. Yeah, looking forward to having some lambs. I'm going to feed these bales of hay. And it's 8:30, and then we'll call it a night. And we'll be up in the morning and see what happens. So subscribe and click on the channel, because that really helps Lynn a lot. She likes that. And support us, and we're going to try to keep this channel going. And I guess for the next 2.5 months, we're going to be having baby lambs, aren't we? Good night. I'll talk to you in the morning.
Nobody looks like they're going to pop right yet. But the udder development is a sure sign that shortly they will be. And you want to see beautifully formed udders like that. So, nothing this morning. but the watch is on. Chewing cud. Chewing cud. She's chewing her cud too. There. I guess the question will be who's going to be first.
Or a Dorset that
There's
lands first.
one here on Knockout side that looks really, really close. And there's one on Sheriff's side that looks really, really close. So who will it be this year? You would think it would be a Dorset because Dorsets are more inclined to breed out of season. And for them to have a baby right now without cedars is technically being out of season. So the Suffolks should be way behind the Dorsets. But I'm thinking we got a lot of fertile Suffolks here that are gonna give the Dorsets a race for their money. And see this little ewe here? Even though she's in a cluster, you can see that she's pregnant even without standing up and looking at an udder, because you can see the bumps on the side of her belly where lambs would be. How you doing, sweetheart? I think she's one of the close ones. We're in the barn with the ones who are due to lamb later. And even these girls, you can see, are getting close. You can see they can see that they're pregnant, that's for sure. This girl especially.
Oh, that one could just be fat then.
That's not fat, that's a baby. And look at, you could serve dinner on her back. She's so level and wide. But I think these all girls in here, in a few days, we're going to be giving them their Glamvac 6 shots. And Casanova is desperately wanting attention. Buddy, he knows we're here. Look at him.
I don't know why he's like that. I have no clue.
He's very needy.
Too needy.
Very, very needy.
I'm not needy.
Talk about perfect Suffolk ewes and faces. Here's one that I think has a perfect head. Are you going to put your ears down? Hi. See that? The ears come down. A little flick at the end. You can tell she's a girl. She's very feminine looking. Big, high capacity ewe with good conformation, good breed character. Just a nice, nice girl. You're beautiful, honey. This is the type we aim to produce. Hey, sweetheart. And for those watching in the UK and stuff, this ewe would be, our Suffolk ewes are usually around 220 to 240 pounds. So just over 100 kilograms. And our Suffolk rams would be hitting more the 150 kilogram range. That's the comparison in the different countries for what you're breeding for. And that's what we consider a medium-sized sheep in Canada. There are much larger Suffolk breeders around here than this. Hard to believe. But like we've said before, we find if you get too big, they're not practical anymore because they eat more than they're actually producing. And if you get too small, they're much harder with the lambs. And if they're too beefy, They're less motherly too, so we do aim for that middle of the road sheep.
It's not like the Zealand and Australian ram. He's hard to put weight on.
For sure. This is an example of a North American style ram. The breeder we got him and Ferdinand from builds the taller show sheep style of Dorsets, whereas now we are moving towards the more chunky, meaty Dorsets that the Australian and New Zealand producers are making. We chose Casanova here because he was extremely good on his legs, and we found that that was a trait that Dorsets were weak on, so we wanted to get a ram that was strong on those traits to hopefully pass it down to his offspring, because legs are highly heritable. And so that's what we're hoping for from Casanova. And any of his ewe lambs that we keep will absolutely be going to an Australian or New Zealand sire. Just again, the same way as we do with the Suffolks, to get that medium style of sheep, because we really like that. You know, the 200 to 240 pound ewes seem to work really well for us, and our rams tend to be in that 300 pound range. Sounds massive to some people maybe, but that's kind of in the middle of the road for these two breeds in Canada.
If you feel, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. If you feel this guy, I'm not saying anything bad about him, but you can feel his little backbone there.
Yeah.
And if you look at that ram of yours right there,
Cash.
you can't feel his backbone at all.
Yeah.
They're fed the same way.
That's right.
This
That's
guy,
what we mean by hard keepers and easy keepers. So he would be what you'd call him, a harder keeper, right?
Well, I don't want to really say that, but
He's not a terrible, like we've had worse,
Yeah.
but he is harder than
You know,
the more meaty type.
now he's in a breeding group,
Yes.
and he's a teenager.
Yes.
So let's don't back up. Nobody wants that. But he might look different when he's a 2-year-old, eh?
That's right. Yeah.
But you know what?
Because really, sheep, we find, reaches its full height at about a year, and they don't really reach their full width until they're 2 years old. So Casanova is just over a year old.
He's got a better head than Australian.
Yes.
He's got the perfect head.
Yes,
His ears should go up.
The Australian and New Zealand guys took away the wool traits from the faces, we find. In general, the ones that have ended up in Canada anyway, not saying that in those countries that's the case. But like Cash here definitely is lacking the wool traits on his face. But he's a way easier keeper because Cash is out of Sheriff, and Sheriff is New Zealand bloodlines.
You know another thing the Americans do with the sheep?
What?
They kept his good temperament.
Yeah, he's got a really good temperament, Arnie.
I like everything about him. I just wish he was putting that kind of weight on.
Yeah.
But that one is borderline for being too heavy, I would say. And this one here, you know, I wouldn't want to share him because I think he's not as great shape as you think he's in. He's packing a lot of wool, right? But he's breeding.
Yeah, and rams will lose weight when they're in a breeding group because they're more focused on playing with the ewes than they are with eating.
But he's got perfect feet on him.
Yeah.
We can take him out with a halter. Let's check him in a while. Let's check him in. You have to eat your oh, no!
Arnie,
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! See? Don't. It's not funny. It's not funny at all.
so Casanova, although we say he's not as chunky as the other guys, you can see that he's definitely got a good back end on them, good muscling and stuff. Just a little taller than we would like. Here's Cash on the other hand.
See, he's an easy keeper.
Yeah.
But we'll have to get a good medium, eh?
Hi, bud. You've still got a tuft.
No.
But your ears are just a little too bare.
It's just like they put Elvis Ross in them or something. Oh, I know, but it's not right.
I don't know, but you can tell where they come from anyway. They are definitely different style.
Hopefully you read everybody here.
That's right. Here's my pretty girl again. She's waiting for the bale to come. And we don't know if poor Hilton here got anyone bred or not. He's our cleanup ram in here. You hope that he didn't breed anyone, because that means everyone got bred on schedule. Because anyone bred by Hilton would be in a straggler group. Last born, but better than open. And we know who you are. You're Tammy. And who are you? This is, I'm pretty sure this is Cammie's mom. Hey, I think you're Cammie's mom. She was a show sheep too. Hi there. Got her number on from having lambs, so I would assume she was in the straggler group last year, because you can still see that it looks like she was 200 to lamb last year. So normally I find that they breed pretty well bang on a year from the time they lamb last time, so it'll be interesting if she's going to end up being another late one, or if she'll get back with the groove and come in on time. Hi there. Hi Rachel. We haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? As the song from Aerosmith would say, we got a lot of fat bottom girls around here. Get out, Ben. Hilton's trying to hit Ben because he's not too impressed with Ben being there. So when I call them fat bottom girls, it's not that these are fat sheep. They are not. It's that they, from behind, they are built like a square box if you take the rump. Definitely a sign of a good lammer. People tend to look at the heads to determine if they're going to be a good lammer. Like, if they got a big head, they think that the lambs are going to be too big and the ewes won't be able to lamb them out. You gotta look at the hips. If she's got lots of space on those hips, wide rump, good square hips, and good capacity as far as length and depth goes, doesn't matter how big the head is, she should be able to deliver anything. I know I always show them eating, but they always look just so happy at breakfast time. And it makes you feel good that you've produced such good quality feed for them, because this is a sign that they are really enjoying their feed. Sometimes you'll put out a bale and they'll go to eat it thinking it's going to be something good. Very quickly they'll stop and go off to the side. They tell you what hay is good and what isn't. They would have to be starving to eat a bad bale. Cold for us today because there is a really strong wind blowing today. But for sheep comfort, it's fantastic because that wind is blowing through the barn and it smells as fresh as being outdoors today. Let's see if Alexander's here today. Alexander! Hi! Hi, Alexander! Hey boys, how you guys doing? Hi Alexander. Hi. You're the only one that comes out to greet us every morning. Oh my goodness. You are so talented. You could be an acrobat. Yeah, you're talented. You've got such really good moves. You do. Oh my gosh. Buddies, don't be fighting. These guys are all fighting. Here comes the black one. Black one's always the second one out. One of the black ones. I can't tell them apart because the two black ones, you would swear that they're identical twins instead of fraternal twins. These are the lambs that are for sale. That should be going in a few days. A pretty consistent group, I think. Good legs on them and everything. I think we got a good group considering their grades. Arnie, give her one.
What? I was counting.
She followed you the whole way for one little special morsel. Well, I think I've been rambling too much, so we're going to call that a day. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.